Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I am, as always, Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Minecraft movie's out. I refuse to watch it, but I have started playing Minecraft again.
I was going to ask if you had gone to see it. You seem like the target demo to a degree.
Yeah, but I'm broke, and I have no friends. So,
Cinemas are expensive, in fairness.
Yeah.
Although everything is expensive, apparently.
Also true.
The Orange Man is not. He's not.
I also, since I've moved back, I don't think I've ever brought this up. I live in a pretty far out area of Illinois, so it's and I don't drive, so my friends have to really want to see me to ever see me, and they wouldn't go out of their way to pick me up to watch the Minecraft movie. That's just not they are not making a festivity of it type of thing. But yeah, so I haven't seen it, but I've seen pretty much all of it because all of it is on TikTok, along with people going absolutely batshit crazy. And all of that led me to think, you know what, maybe I should play some Minecraft again. So I'm doing that instead of watching wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, not true. I actually watched a fair amount of wrestling this past week.
That's good because we do a wrestling show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Allegedly.
All right. Yeah, the Minecraft movie. I saw somebody today talking about that movie, the way people talk about pro wrestling. They were like, they didn't explain this reference in the movie. And I was like, this is AEW discourse to a T. It's like a well-known person that every person attending the Minecraft movie would know. Like, they all
Was
know.
Was it the Technoblade thing?
Yes. They all know the reference.
That's insane.
Every single
That's
person
insane. A very
knows that
a beloved Minecraft YouTuber who has passed away gets referenced, and they're like, shut up, man.
And I just remember being like, this is literally like Sting showing up and people being like, well, what's the explanation? What's the explanation? It's like, it's Sting. It's fucking Sting, dude. Like, that's all. Yeah, I don't know. Or Okada, when it was like, oh, what's the hype around Okada? And it's like, every AEW fan knows
Have
Okada.
you ever
Don't
heard
worry.
of have you heard of Japanese wrestling in the past 10 years? You ever heard that exists?
Kenny Omega? Do you know Kenny Omega? You likely know Okada. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very fun. But anyway, head on over to the 5-star-network.com for all the latest articles and podcasts from the One Foot of Pro Wrestling. Head on over to the 5-Star Network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as Actress Stage and other shows, go up, like No Limit Wrestling. You guys are not recording this month.
No.
You weren't sure about the draft thing you had stashed?
Yeah, I don't know. We probably should release it, but I also feel like releasing it further away makes it more funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like Shane McMahon was a hot button topic in December. He is no longer a hot button topic, so I think it would be really funny if it was like 8 months out and there's Shane McMahon references. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's. But yeah, so might drop that this month, might not. But regardless, we will have a episode in early May about Mako. So that's probably what people are more looking forward to if you're a No Limit Wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be early next month. Alex, I hate to have to ask you again.
No, you don't. You love this.
But there's a certain article on rightdoandright.substack.com. Everybody go check it out. That was written and posted a month ago.
Yeah.
Nearly a month ago. Called Love Letters to the Sky. Have you read that? Or can you not read? There's only two options here at this point. I mean,
I was an editor at the place you wrote before.
I know. I used to send every article I write to you.
Yeah.
The one time I don't, you just refuse to read it. It's crazy.
I am going to disappoint you and say I did. So fuck you.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think?
It was good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't do
appreciate it.
movie stuff, so that part I was kind of like eyes glazed over. But then we got to the wrestling, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm with it.
How do you not do movie? That's insane. The statement "I don't do movies,"
I don't do movies.
insane,
I don't like to watch movies or discuss
man.
movies.
That's
My movie discussion is simply this movie was great, and that's all. Like I'm like Lilo and Stitch, legendary. That's all I need. You
Lilo
know,
and Stitch
I
is
don't gotta dig
legendary.
into it. I don't
Goofy
need to.
movie, big fan of Goofy movie.
Yeah,
Um, an extremely goofy movie, also very good. People don't give it enough credit. I really liked an extremely goofy movie as well.
right.
Um, yeah. Well, now I guess I can stop bringing it up every week. But
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear you liked it. I hope everybody else who has read it and liked it, and anybody who hasn't should learn how to read and then go read it. Uh,
exactly. Yeah, do
yeah.
your
No, I
Duolingo.
will. I will disappoint you, Alex, that I think the next thing I write is going to exclusively be about movies. Uh, because there's a couple movies, including somebody who won't shut up in our goddamn Discord's favorite movie. Please shut
Oh.
up. We are recording.
Don't say that. That's mean. That's mean.
He keeps talking, but
Yeah,
his
but
favorite
everybody
movie
keeps talking.
is Linda Linda Linda, and I think I'm gonna write about that. So
Okay.
yeah, that'll be next, hopefully someday. Probably not. It'll probably take months, but you know.
Okay. Well, that's good. We can get past that chapter for today. Um, yeah, let's start with Stardom. A busy week from Stardom. They had a lot of news and they had a lot of wrestlers. They will have a lot of wrestlers doing stuff outside of the company. So, are you ready to try and discuss everything in blue on the Stardom World schedule, or not the Stardom World, the Stardom website schedule? Because
There's
it
so
was
much
a lot.
blue.
Yes. And they don't even have some stuff. They don't have the Prestige show. So we're gonna start there. Azumi had 2 matches in America this past week. One was on Prestige Roseland 11, I think it was, or 9.
11.
Um, 11. Okay. Couldn't remember if it was XI
You
or
don't.
IX.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't know
I
no
wasn't sure.
rules, bro. That's funny.
Hey, I liked Rocky. That taught me the numerals. Like a lot of people. Um, yeah.
I'm
So
a
she
Kingdom Hearts
wrestled.
fan, so that's how I learned all the numerals.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah.
Me and Chiaki like those. Come on.
Okay. She wrestled Hyan on the Prestige show. It's free on YouTube if you want to watch it. It's up on their channel, so you can watch the match for free.
It was
Very very
very
good
good.
match, dude. Like
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Hyan. I don't know how she hasn't been
Likewise.
signed yet. She's like the most obvious put her on TV and have good matches wrestler ever. Um, and I think she did really well here with Azumi.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like Hyan just is constantly kind of overlooked in that way, where it's
Hmm.
like it's always she's never like the focus of anything, which sucks. Like even in Marvelous, she doesn't get to be like, oh, the one foreigner around who like really like makes things fun. She's always brought over alongside 8 other foreigners. Like the 2 times, 3 times she's been there, it's never like, "Oh, yeah," like Nightshade was around, like, alone, and she got shine because of it, but
Yeah.
Hyan doesn't, and I was like, can Japan do something with her? Can America can somewhere do something with Hyan, for God's sakes? Because yeah, this match is really good. I love the way Hyan was able to work off of Azumi. Like, I think that their styles clash in the perfect ways, to make it a really interesting match, and like this is one of those matches that's like, you know what, indie wrestling's cool sometimes. Um, yeah,
Yeah. We got a few of
I
those
appreciate it.
this coming week. Thankfully.
I didn't think it was anything great, but I also liked the Crush Boys versus Everett and Trevor Lee, which was the match before it. I haven't seen the Crush Boys wrestle as the Crush Boys yet, so I thought I'd check them out, and
Is
yeah,
that
they're
Starboy Charlie and
and Titus Alexander, yeah.
yes. I was gonna
I
call
love
him the guy who dates Johnny, and then I was like, that's probably not
I love
a
Titus
good thing.
Alexander. I think Titus Alexander is great. Starboy Charlie is less so, but he's still good, and I think they're a good team together. And it was a fun match, and I like that they are a Crush Gals, tribute act. I think that's pretty dope. So, you know, more power to them.
Azumi had another match in America. She was on the New Japan Strong show in Chicago on the 11th. Her and Azumi wrestled to a double count out for some reason on a show where Gabe Kidd and Tomohiro Ishii went like 50.
You mean her and
Um,
Mina?
her and Mina, sorry. Who did I say?
Her and Izumi.
Oh, yeah, Azumi and Mina Shirakawa, they went to a double countout. This is also a good match. Mina, as I said, since that press conference where she said she's leaving, has just been bringing the vibes back. She was really good in this. Azumi also very good. The American crowd laps up Azumi's stuff like so much.
Yep.
You clearly is just working with a little bit more impetus than if she was on the 5-day stretch in Osaka and Chunichi.
Yeah, no, I'm terrified about Izumi.
I think she's gone. I think she's like the next one to like get poached because there's no way she gets this over and has matches this good without getting noticed, especially with a Mercedes Moné one coming.
Yeah, and Mercedes likes her. Like,
Mhm.
so, like, it doesn't help that. Because Mercedes also likes Mina, and that's part of why I imagine Mina got a contract rather than just was kind of around
And
sometimes.
Tony Khan
Um,
apparently likes Azumi, right? He brought her over for like a
yes.
random TV one time, so he probably
He
is
brought
a
her
fan.
over and put her with Anna Jay. Remember, they were a team for like 2
Yes,
weeks.
yeah.
They
She got to wrestle
like
Tony
yeah,
Storm. He loves Tony
she was on
Storm,
TV a bunch.
so yeah.
Yeah, so that's terrifying.
Yeah, I think she's next up to go through the door. But you know, I think that's a ways away. Obviously, the contract renewals just happened, so if it was going to happen properly, it would be next March. So you're safe for a
Yeah.
little bit. And it's probably not next March. They might go a bit long term with it since she's so young. But I do think she'll eventually go to America. I don't see how they
Well,
would avoid her.
I think my fear more so would be surrounding her becoming Mina Shirakawa-fied. Because
Yeah,
I'm way more excited to watch a Mina match looking forward than I have been for like the past year, even though she was in Stardom.
yeah,
Because she was bad in Stardom because she was preserving herself for her America dates. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, so I'm scared that will begin happening with Azumi. But also Azumi doesn't really do that. So knock on wood, she she
Fingers crossed.
keeps being the Azumi that we all know and love. Well, I know and love.
Yes.
I know others don't have as good of taste as I do.
Um, so the result of that match led to the announcement that Resurgence, which is the next New
Mhm.
Japan Strong pay-per-view, Mercedes will defend the New Japan Strong Championship against Azumi and Mina Shirakawa. Um, I think this is the second time Azumi has tried to challenge for that specific belt, and they've been like, "No, you get a three-way instead." Or what is it, Monet? She's tried to wrestle twice, and they've been like, "Nope, three-way." She
Yeah,
had the
what the
one with
fuck is up with that?
Hazuki. Um, But yeah, that's on the 9th of May. So yeah, Azumi will be gone early next month again to America. Um, let's see, on
Wait, that's on
Gambare,
what day? That's on what day?
the 9th of May is
Uh,
Resurgence.
yeah, no, I got that. I'm trying to figure. Oh, okay. Yeah, Golden Week is early this year. So I was like, wait,
Oh
that
yeah,
seems
first
very.
week of May.
But yeah, okay.
Okay. On Ganbare's 12th anniversary show, Hazuki Koguma and Yuna Manase beat Ami Manase, Moka Haruhi, and Yuri. That was obvious. Yuna Manase is the veteran of that unit, so you know she was always going to win against the other Ganbare people.
Yes. This
That
is.
hasn't aired yet. It's
Yeah, I
airing
was
in
gonna
2
say,
days.
was I supposed to watch
So
this? Because I feel
no.
like, um, yeah, no, that I mean, like a lot of the stuff there was interesting. I've
Yes.
kind of talked about how it feels like Hazuki, and to a lesser degree Koguma, mostly Hazuki, is like a roster pariah at the moment. And that much was kind of further, noticeable when she comes out for the post match of Gambare and not for Stardom, where like the roster gathers in the ring and like takes a joint photo shoot. Um, I was like, that's wild. Like Azuki is closer to being a part of the Gambari roster than the Stardom roster in terms of just like, you know, feeling like a part of the team. But yeah, no, I'm happy that they got to do that match, and it seems like FWC is going to continue to do a lot of indie stuff. Um, like Yuki Miyazaki said that she wants to wrestle FWC before she retires.
Yeah.
Um, Manase said that they should come back to Gambare. Just a lot of
Yes.
stuff like that.
I don't
Um,
know this for sure, but my guess is they got the Saori Ano deal where it's
mm,
like you give us precedent, but you can work whatever indies you want. Because it does seem like Hazuki especially is more interested in doing these indie dates and kind of just will show up for Stardom Corkins and the pay-per-views, but generally seems to be happier kind of traveling the indies. So I wouldn't be shocked if they did get a new contract kind of earlier this year, and it was kind of like, look, you can work more indies if you want, but we get like first dibs.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. Also,
Another
the 5th gen cockroaches, crazy nickname. You can't
yes,
kill them. They all
um,
retired and came back, and you can't kill them.
that's true. There's no results for the Ranmaru Fest, but Aya Sakura and Soriano were on that. I don't really know what they actually did though. Um, Speaking of Hazuki and Koguma, they lost the Oz Tag Team Championships on the Big Battle or Battle Big Bonus show. They dropped to Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki, which I had predicted last week. It did feel like the belts were going to switch just because this was a show for Sonoko Kato's anniversary. So Oz winning the belts back would kind of make sense. And then also I was like, Mayumi Ozaki's back. She probably wants belts. So she's probably going to win them soon. And you don't want FWC holding another company's titles when they lose to Ingori. So I had a few things there that made me think they were going to lose. I didn't actually watch
Yeah.
that. I was going to, but somebody in Discord was like, it was mostly fine. And I do feel like that's been a lot of the FWC stuff in Oz is like good-ish, but not great.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't gotten to see it. I will say that did make me a bit more nervous about like an FWC breakup, but also the way that they are getting positioned to kind of do a bunch of indies together. I think that'd be a poor decision, is
Hmm.
breaking them up right now, because I don't know. With the likely breakup of stars, I feel like even though Hazuki could go in a more heelish direction, and Koguma doesn't really fit that, I also feel like they're better together than they are apart, unless you're going to push Hazuki. And I don't think they're going to push Hazuki, so just keep them
No.
together. You know what I mean?
All
Like,
right.
that's ultimately how I see it.
I
But
agree.
yeah, Kuragake having a belt in 2025 is crazy. I'm not
I
gonna
know.
lie. I like her, like I don't mind her, but it is like when you think about it like that, it's like wow. Her like tag team partner of 10 years retired 10 years ago.
Jesus Christ. That's insane. We're going to get to another retirement then as well in the news section later on. But just keep going because there's lots to juggle here that I'm trying to keep up with. Today on a Seedling show, Rina beat Maria Kuga of Seedling. I didn't get to watch the show. I haven't seen it go up anywhere yet.
I didn't
I
even
don't.
know that
I
that show
didn't pay.
happened today. I thought it was like
Yeah,
next week.
it went very under the
Oh,
radar. But obviously that's a match I want to see. Maria Kuga is somebody I'm really high on. I really enjoy a lot of her work, and Rina is obviously fantastic. So pretty into seeing that one whenever it goes up. Um, and that was the only match left that has happened. So the rest are looking forward. And this is where Mania Week gets crazy for us.
well, wait,
Uh,
should we just should we just go through the review stuff then? Because I feel like there is nothing except for Stardom outside Stardom.
no, I think we'll have stuff to
I
do.
mean, I guess there's
Um,
technically
yeah,
American Dream,
we'll
but
we'll
those are
have
pretty
enough.
much okay.
So first on the lineup maybe is that Azumi and Starlight Kid are wrestling Konami and Natsuko Tora on Dragon Gate USA Rebirth. That's going to mostly be a house show tag, I would imagine. I don't think Kid is going to try for a lot of Mania Week. Um, Even though it would be nice if she did.
Oh wait, they have a match. I just don't know. Like the match was announced, it just doesn't say it on this.
Yeah, no, that's what I
What
said.
was the
It's them
match?
against Tora and Konami.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
hear you say that. Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, I know. Um, Lady C is staying at home in Japan. She is teaming with Shuji Ishikawa to take on Masato Tanaka and Unagi Sayaka on Fortune Dream, which is the annual Kobashi Produce show. That
Yep.
is, of course, not the main women's match on that show. Team 200 kg is taking on Mako and Sari, which is going to take away from Unagi and Lady C, but I imagine
Good.
they'll have fun. That's
No,
harsh.
no disrespect to Lady C.
Yeah, you gotta respect Lady C. Um, Bloodsport. There's a lot of Stardom on Bloodsport. Do they have it on the website, or am I gonna have to search for a
No,
Bloodsport
they have
card?
it on the. Oh wait, let's see.
I'm gonna have
What
to
they
search
have
for a
on the.
Bloodsport card.
Yeah, you have to. Micah versus Carmen Petrovic is the big
That's a
one.
fun match. I really like that. I like Carmen. It's probably not going to be good because none of these blood sport things are enjoyable to me. But
I,
it's
I'm not
something.
gonna lie. I looked at a picture of the NXT women's roster,
Yeah.
and about 8 of them look the same.
Hmm.
I have I mm.
That's all right. You
Like,
know.
I thought I liked Thea Hale, but then I was like, "Wait, there's somebody who looks exactly like Thea Hale. Wait a second,
Oh,
who is
is he
that?" Like, I
down?
was I was
Feel like a
I
slightly
don't
taller Thea Hale.
I don't know. Yeah, like, that's
Okay.
what but yeah, Carmen Petrovic was the Snow Bunny in Snow Bunny Heaven, correct? With Ashanti, the Adonis. Am I correct?
Yes, I think so.
That
Yes.
gimmick that she was okay,
Yeah,
and
she's
she does the
dating Ashanti
karates.
on screen. Yeah, she does the
Okay,
sword.
yeah,
She does the sword.
cool. No, I fuck with it. Let's
Okay.
go.
Mhm.
And then other than that, I think it's Konami versus Shayna
Yeah,
Baszler.
Konami and Shayna Baszler. Which, if there's going to be a good match on this show outside of Dempsey and Aoki, it's probably going to be Shayna Baszler and Konami because these are probably
Yeah,
two people who are most likely to pull off the style. Timothy Thatcher versus Pete Dunne. Somebody should be shot.
that sounds terrible.
You should be put on
T- t-
trial for booking that in 2025 in a blood sport match.
you
Jesus
know,
Christ.
Timothy Thatcher is in a different match Mania weekend that I was like, that doesn't sound that terrible. Um, but that does. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Trashy Tim should not be wrestling against Pete Dunne in a
Pete
fucking shoot
Dune.
style match. Yeah, Big
Yeah.
Peter Dune. Um,
Um,
I don't remember what I think it was like on the DT show. I don't know, but he was in some interesting match. I was like, that's okay. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
all right, we got Spark Joshi. Let me try and find theirs. Lady Luck. Um,
Yes,
Siri and Zoe Lucas versus Jada Stone and Starlight Kid.
I was so excited for you when I saw Zoe Lucas making her comeback. Well, not comeback,
I
but was
just
wrestling.
this is
Star
this is not a
Wrestlers.
good match. This is not a well-made match, and I said this
No.
in my preview for Voices of Wrestling. If you switched Jada with Zoe, I think it's more likely to be good because
Yes.
Kid
Yeah.
and Jada could have fun stuff, and you can let Siri and Zoe do their thing.
And
But I
also, they
think
were both
Siri,
in Stars at one point, technically, even though I think they never
yeah,
teamed together. Zoe and
oh yeah, probably
Kid.
yeah. So like that to me would have made more sense for a good match, whereas this is kind of just like you're kind of hoping Siri and Jada do good stuff because Kid and Siri are going to be pedestrian, and then Zoe Lucas. I haven't seen her in a long time. She took a long time away from wrestling. She was not good beforehand. I don't know if she's better now. I don't think she's enough to carry a match where Starlight Kid is working at a quarter's effort.
Mm, yeah.
That's just me. This match isn't on here, but I have seen it announced. It's Jocelyn Navarro versus Momo Watanabe versus Azumi versus some other indie wrestler.
Oh, Brittany
And
Blake.
Brittany Blake, yes, and that's
I could have
mostly
swore Brittany Blake retired like years ago.
maybe. But I like Navarro, but I do think her and Momo could maybe do some like Haas stuff. But obviously, the main attraction here is going to be Azumi and Momo doing their stuff. Like that's what you're here for.
Wait,
I
Brittany Blake
wouldn't.
was
I
in
wouldn't.
Ice Ribbon last year? Like
Oh,
a few months ago?
possibly. Maybe.
Yeah. She wrestled Saran, Yappy, Totoro.
Cool.
Oh yeah, she was around. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
Oh,
Navarro. So
she works like
give her
10
that.
days a year. That's why. Okay.
Ah, okay.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like she was a wrestler from 10 years ago, in CZW, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's because she just doesn't work anymore. Really.
Okay. And then this could be the match of the week, and I'm not even bullshitting.
Mm,
Spark Joshi World Title. It's vacant at the moment, and it is Hazuki versus Lena Kross. If you watch Sendai Girls, you'll know Lena Kross. She teamed with Venny last
mhm.
year. Uh, Kept up with Venny and like Hashimoto in some high-end tags. She is a talented wrestler, and she doesn't have a lot of bookings during Mania week because everybody in America is stupid. That means she's going to be motivated and energized for this one. I think her with like a Hazuki who's only working two other shows, at the very least, you're getting 75% Hazuki. I think 75% Hazuki with Lena Kross at anything near 100% is great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that match is gonna be very, very good because, I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Lena Kross is one of those foreign wrestlers that you just want to be in Japan all the time because she's really good, and she works really well with Japanese wrestlers. And Hazuki historically works pretty well with foreigners as well. So it's like I don't see a reason why this won't be good outside of like it being filmed on a potato in front of 5
Hmm.
people. You know what I mean? Like that those are the problems, not the actual match itself. The problems will be uniquely Spark Joshi's. So we'll see. I'm really excited about it because yeah, that does sound like a really good match. And also Hazuki likely maybe getting her first singles title since the high speed title in 2019. Hilarious.
Yes. Very true.
Or no, she won that in 2018. So yeah, it would be her first singles title win in
It's
7
retirement.
years. Over 7 years. No,
She has
in almost,
retired since winning
yeah,
a
in 7 years.
singles title.
She's
Um,
retired, came back, formed like one of the best tag teams of the past decade, and still hasn't won a singles title.
Incredible.
Not without
Um,
trying either. Like it's not like she was a
no,
tag
yeah.
wrestler that whole time. She's been trying.
Um, the last thing that I can see, and we might be missing something, is on the New Texas Pro Hold'em Swan Dive. Hanako is taking on WWID star Kylie
Oh, there
Ray.
is one. Wingori is wrestling Hyan and someone somewhere.
Oh, that isn't even on the website.
I know
Stardom
it's
doesn't
not on
even
the
have that
website,
one.
but it is a thing that's happening. Uh, I think it's at like a prestige show.
Prestige running in Vegas?
Yes, I do know they're part of the DPW collective.
Ah, is DPW didn't get any Stardom Masters, did they? They got Tokyo Joshi and
Yeah, no,
Takumi.
they didn't get any Star Musters. I think Star Musters are very expensive from what I've heard.
They are,
So
yes.
they were kind of just like, we can just. Oh yeah, so
Um,
the Gate of the Revolution, which is Dragon Gate USA, and another Revolution Pro Wrestling, I
right.
guess. On the 18th, it will be Charisma and Hyan versus Hanan and Saida.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Like it.
yeah. Uh, Anything else? Yamato versus Rich Swann is later on in that show. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
pretty interesting card. Um, yeah, it's impossible to keep up with Mania weekend. It is a
Mm.
absolute shit show. But that is that for the Stardom Masters outside of Stardom.
Oh wait, you missed two.
I
You
hope.
missed two.
Did I? There's
Texas
more?
Hold'em. You never said who was on that. It's Hana. It's Haya. It's Hanako.
I
Too
did.
many H's, bro.
I said it's Hanako and
Uh
Kylie Ray. You just ignored me.
oh, I didn't hear the Kyler Ray part. Hil Usi's on that show. Um, and also you missed that Shuri will be on the Marvelous show.
Oh, I see. That is also not on the website, but yeah, that is a
Yes.
cool match. That Marvelous show is like the best one of the week. You got
Yeah.
Aja Kong versus Senka. You got Sora versus Nyla Rose as well. I really like
Hmm.
Nyla Rose. You've got that tag, which I think could work really well. And there was another match on there that I thought was good, but I cannot recall. Fire World and Rini Yamashita. If Rini Yamashita is anything like she was in the Nanai show, that could be crazy good, but I'm not sure about that one. Um, but yeah, that could be one of the better shows of the week. But I think that's everything for Mania week. I hope. Involving Stardom?
Probably not, but I think
No.
that's enough.
Yeah. So in the news, Snoko Kato announced her retirement for November. She doesn't have huge ties with either Stardom or Marigold, but I think it's something where she might ask for Stardom wrestlers for her shows, or she might ask for Marigold wrestlers for her shows. She might do one-offs. I don't really know. Kato isn't really Mako. You know, like Mako can work Stardom and Marigold, no problem, and they'll both
Yeah.
be like, sure. But Kato never really had that staying power because she kind of just became a tag wrestler in Oz, whereas obviously Mako stayed as like a top star until pretty much the end.
Yeah,
So
I
I don't
don't
know how
know.
much fanfare she'll get.
It's very interesting because like the crossover is very specific of Joshi
Mhm.
wrestling history. So it's like the Rossi promotions and Gaia don't have much like collaboration or even like closeness to each other. Um, but also you look at it like Shinobu Kandori and Rossi only ever interacted when Rossi poached all of her talent in '96,
Yeah,
or in '97. Like that was that was pretty much it. And they're friends. now. So and Sonoko Kato is kind of like the inverse, where it's like I don't think she ever had beef with anyone, or at least certainly not outside of Gaia, because she was always pretty uh, insular. Like she didn't really do much outside of Oz and Gaia. Uh, but in the same way, it's like I don't think she has particularly notable connections to many people as a result. Um,
Yeah, I
but
know.
yeah.
Like she's basically only worked Oz
Oh,
since
also
2006.
one other thing, Starum outside of Starum. Not really, but I mean, Ano did win a top title, which I think, even though it is heel Ano,
See,
even
I
though she's
never
not
know
a
how
heel anymore.
to include her
That's
because
the
she's
thing.
just kind of an
Now,
indie wrestler who is in Stardom,
yeah,
kind of.
and usually I would say it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, but her winning a world title is kind of interesting. Um, Good for her, you know. And
Yeah.
also the other thing is that it's like Oz Academy is kind of like its own thing, except for when it isn't. So it's like
Hmm.
Seriano in Oz Academy is different from Seriano literally everywhere else. Uh, but also not really anymore, because now it's just she wears black gear. Like she's not a superhero anymore, heel anymore.
I think
Like
they
she's
are
just
still heels. Didn't they kick out Ozaki so she's not the heel, but they are?
but like she was hanging out with like Unagi and Ryo Mizunami and shit. Like they were
Oh,
like she was just chill.
interesting.
Not hanging out
Okay.
with, but like they did a post. I don't know. I didn't watch the show, so I'm just
I thought
speaking on
Unagi
what
challenged her, and then the other ones also were trying to challenge,
potentially.
but I cannot
But
be sure.
they all took a photo together. That's why I was like, wait, so what's happening now?
Mm.
I don't know. I haven't caught up with Oz enough to have a clear.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think once Sekigun died, it was like, who cares? I think that was Ozaki's thought. It's like, okay, I'm not anymore. Who gives a fuck? Like that was the thought. Um, but yeah, Sonoko Kato will be missed because she is still very good, especially as a tag wrestler. Um, but yeah, she was very much like, if you haven't watched Oz in the past 20 years, then you probably haven't seen much Sonoko Kato.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um, let's see. Um, they started recruiting for that Stardom Project show that we were talking about, so that's kind of
Mm.
big news. They're going very heavy into that. The only other thing is that they've confirmed the final match for Yokohama Arena. We now know that it's a 9-match main card, and then they're going to do a battle royal for a title shot on the pre-show, which I really like. I think one of the bad things about Taro sometimes is his pay-per-views have like the 5 killer matches and then multi-tag hell. And I think
Mm.
Rossi had that for a long time as well until he started throwing everybody into like rumbles. And I like that a lot more, the all killer, no filler approach than like 13 matches just for the sake of it. So I quite like that.
You know, I don't always love pre-show battle royals giving big title shots, but I would be a hypocrite if I said I wasn't a fan of it. Holy fuck, I just realized that I put dinner on and didn't plug in the crock pot. I will be right back.
Oh my god. This is a real adulting moment there. Yeah, we have what is it? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, like a 9-match run for All
I'm
Star Grand
sorry.
Kingdom.
I'm
Which is
sorry
good.
that
It's okay.
I realized I didn't smell my food cooking, and I was like, wait a minute. I looked
Okay.
over. But no, sorry. I'm just taking back over. Because I didn't get to finish my point.
All right.
I would be a hypocrite because that's how Goto won.
Oh,
Goto
okay.
won the Rambo. He was on the pre-show Rambo at Wrestle Kingdom, and he won it, and he got the challenge for the world title, and then won the world title, and now is the biggest star in Japan, in Japanese wrestling. So, like, he's like the biggest draw. So, like I can't. Shit, this year it works. Go off.
All right.
My pitch
Uh,
is to have Momo win it and
oh yes,
have her decide, ooh, should I challenge Saya?
that would be fun.
Like have that be like a way, because it's like, I don't know, and I know I'm at the point with Stardom where like a big part of what I care about is seeing Momo succeed, just because I'm like, can we do this already? I'm getting
Yeah.
tired. I just want to see it happen. And I feel like her just being like, why wouldn't I challenge you for the red belt? I want the red belt more than anything. that was why I joined Oedo Tai in the first place, was because I fucking hated Utami and Azumi for holding me back from getting the red belt. So get the goddamn red belt. Stop challenging for the fucking TBS championship. Challenge for the red belt. So yeah, that's what I would do. Is I would have Momo win the Rumble and be like, maybe I should challenge Saya, and that be the beginning of the end for that. But
All right, I'm into it. They've also announced the full card for the April 24th show, which is a Corkin. We'll preview that next week. But kind of the main stuff is that
Suzu
they're
has
doing.
X's.
Yes, Suzu has an X and a double X to take on Mei, Miyu, and Kohaku. Now, I'm very interested in who this is. I could see maybe Suzu recruiting people from the American shows. Like, that's one thing we didn't talk about. She's wrestling Masha for the JCW. They don't have that on the schedule either.
Oh yeah.
And I had said like, oh, maybe you can like have her ask Masha to team with her or something, to help out, and maybe that's one of them. Maybe one of the girls is gonna have a tour. Not super likely, but it's possible. That or it's Risa Sarah, and I really
When's the
don't want
last
to see
time
Risa Sarah.
there was a foreign woman who had a tour? Was it Anna? Was it Anna J?
Yes,
Who
for
had
the
like
Grand
a
Prix.
couple like a traditional couple month-long
Yeah.
tour. So
Before
obviously
that,
Tech
you're
was over
talking
there.
like Jesse for
Yeah.
Club Venus. Yeah.
Yep. Because otherwise it was Xena who is long term, and like yeah. So yeah, I mean I guess Mariah technically had a tour.
Yeah, but
Um,
she was at the same time. Like Jesse started after her.
yeah.
So
But yeah,
non-tournament, you are looking at Jesse.
I
It's the
could
last
I
one.
could definitely see Taro just being like, why don't we just like just bring back prominence? Like I don't like I could see him doing that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
because
don't want
and
that. I'm so down on Risa Sarah. I feel like she stopped giving a shit a long time
yeah,
ago,
I
and
can't
it's
blame
kind
you
of
on
hard
that, but
now.
also I feel like she stopped giving a shit once Suzu started making more money than her and left her in the
Yeah.
dust. So it's always possible that just throwing them back in a tag team, they were always great as a tag team, even when Risa Sarah was kind of like not giving a fuck. Suzu usually brought the best out of her as a team. So I wouldn't mind it. Like I think that would
Mhm.
be interesting at least. But yeah, I think the more interesting thing is that it's like nothing has happened yet. So and Suzu's
Yes.
already getting
She did try
people.
and we were gonna talk about that. She was gonna try and win over Hanako. I wonder if Hanako does double duty and like
Was
turns
that
on
what she was
EXP.
saying? Or was she just saying
That's
you
what
gotta get
Peps
better, bro?
said to me. Peps was like, she's trying to recruit Hanako, and I was like, sure, I will
It
believe
sounded
you.
like she just
We
buried her and
like
was
I
like,
will
"Get good,
see. You know,
bitch." Like
we'll
that's what it
obviously be able to
sounded
read.
like.
We'll be able to read the promo during the
Yeah.
review part, but that's what he said. So I just gotta roll with it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she like convinces somebody to turn to the dark side and do
But
double
everybody's on
duty.
that show already. Yeah, that's where I'm like, I don't know. Are they just gonna do double? Because like,
Yeah, there's room to do double. I mean, look at Akira. She's in a 3-on-3. Like you can just not do much and then join a position.
Noah liked doing that where they would have like somebody turn earlier in the night and then come out later and
Yeah,
wrestle with the heels.
it works. It
Uh,
makes sense. You
yeah,
know.
no, I could see it. But my point more so being is that it's like people are like, oh, maybe FWC joins up with Suzu, or like maybe Momo
WC
joins
are
up
in a
with Suzu.
big match on that. They literally can't.
That's what I mean. Is that it's like them starting this before Queendom is interesting because
Yeah.
like you can like start like you can't shift the factions on the Korkin. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking the Americans might be handy for like a one-off
Yeah.
or part of a tour. And then you can maybe do Risa Sarah if the other option is cool, and Risa Sarah is a one-off. You
Bring in
know,
Karumi,
we
bro.
shall see.
We don't need
Yeah,
Risa Sarah.
Kurumi. I
Just
like
bring in
Kurumi.
Karumi. Love Risa
Um,
Sarah, but I bladed, but
yeah. I mean, we'll preview this obviously next week, but the only other notable
yeah.
stuff is they're doing a Micah and Hashimoto preview tag. So you, Eureka, Oka, and Yuna are on this show against EXV, which is cool. Mayo and Siri are doing a preview tag, and then there's a red-white preview tag in the main event. So all that is fun. But with that, it is time to get on to the part where we review the Stardom stuff.
Hmm.
So because with so many shows, and we do this sometimes, I don't see a point in just going show by show, day by day. we're gonna kind of sweep through and try and touch on like the main story stuff that advanced or like any of the cooler matches that happened. There wasn't much of the first one because Suzu and Mei both ended up missing a bunch of shows, so they couldn't, physically be there to advance that story.
And
So
Azumi was in America, so they couldn't advance the Wipeout story.
yeah, and then Mayu got
Mayu got
pulled, so
sick,
they couldn't do the
so
the
she couldn't
big
advance
show.
that. So
Yeah.
basically, unless you really like Tam Nakano, not much to sink your teeth into here.
But yeah, we will try and go through it. Now, as I said, Suzu and Hanako on that first show, I actually did really enjoy. That was meant to be a three-way with Ane, but she is injured, sadly. Well, soon Ane. Um, and that was actually a lot better than I thought. Like Suzu and Hanako really worked here, and Hanako especially. They were just like throwing shots at one another, and it was really fun.
I think Hanako can figure it out. Like, I don't think she's a lost cause. Obviously, I
Yeah,
mean, she's still very young. It's just the thing about power wrestlers, and I think we saw this with Ami Sourei, is that I don't want to say it's easy to be good, but the things you need to be a good power wrestler feel obvious. So when you don't do them, you just look really bad.
right.
And sometimes Hanako just like feels like she is missing the pieces to being a good power wrestler, and sometimes she feels like she is on her way. This is an instance of her kind of feeling she was on her way. I don't think I didn't like it as much as you did, but like I get what you mean, where it's like, oh, like this was serviceable for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
In her post-match promo, Suzu did. She was kind of like, "I think you're a waste. You're so big and you've got guts, but I never see confidence in your eyes. You're the champion in New Blood, but you don't show it in the match. Next time we fight, come at me with confidence. I'm dangerous, and Suzuki is lively. So that could work both ways. It could be putting her down, or it could be like, hey, listen, if you come side with me, I can make you dangerous. So I would be interested in seeing how that one pans out.
yeah,
Um,
I would. You know, it would be really funny, but also wouldn't work at all.
uh,
Uh, Putting Suzu as the other in uh, EXV,
yeah,
because
I don't think she works with
because
Micah.
her and Micah hate each other, and Suzu already
Yeah.
said, I'd rather fuck with people I hate than people who pretend to be my friends. So just put her with Micah.
Yeah, she could.
Like
It
that's
it
kind of
might
her
work.
sentiment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Um,
gonna happen, but it would
no.
be an interesting take on it. Plus, I mean, Micah and Suzu worked way better together as a team than they ever have as rivals.
Mm,
Um, the rivalry was good because there was nothing else, and it was kind of a mess, and it fell into their laps, and it was good. But they were a great team before that. People forget. Um,
they were.
Elsewhere on the Osaka card was the first meeting between Hana and Hazuki after the press conference.
Yes. It was kind of interesting to see how they went and progressed that throughout the week. And Hazuki basically no-sold Hanan for a little bit, and I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, I like it. And then she lost to Ida anyway, so um, something.
Yes.
They obviously 50-50'd the tag stuff, which is what they do. But it's definitely
Also,
was very intense.
um, as is always the case, 20 minutes after we stopped recording, Mayu dropped like a big tweet
Mhm.
that she then deleted about how she was hoping they could sort it out like adults. She spent a lot of time and money trying to help them work it out, and Hanan kind of threw that all away. So the that feeling, though it was deleted, that tweet kind of carried out into this match where, despite being on the winning side, Mayu walked out with the losers while Hanan and Ida cut their promos in the ring, which is not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, all is not well in
So
stars.
yeah, that was crazy. Like that, the vibes were very uncomfortable. But yeah, interesting little thing.
The first show's main event then for the Osaka one, it had Sakamitani Ruaka beating Kid and Tam Nakano. This was the first of the previews between Tam and Saya. Saya got the win over Kid actually with the spinning Star Crusher. And this was a good main event. I quite liked it. I still enjoy the Tam Saya stuff, even though it is nearing Utami Siri levels of repetitive. But yeah, this was kind of a good one because they really seem to want Kid and Kamatani to like share the ring a lot and like build up the something between them. So they kind of got it there.
You know, I got tired of the Saya Tam stuff like 2 years ago
Yes.
in preview tags.
Similar.
So yeah, here we are.
Um, kind of the big stuff from the second day of shows was that Suzu got to wrestle Neo Genesis. She got to wrestle Kid and Kevin. I thought Neo Genesis was a lot more pissed off with Suzu than I was expecting. Like I kind of thought her and May would be the main thing, but the Kid was like going at her, and Miyu Misaki wasn't holding back either. So I'm very intrigued in how that develops because I thought it might just be Suzu versus May, but it really seems like Suzu versus Neo Genesis as a whole. Like they all seem pretty pissed
Yeah.
off. I didn't expect. But that was also a good match. Suzu did good with Kid, especially.
Oh yeah, I did watch that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was solid.
Okay.
Suzu did a really bad meet cute.
Yeah.
Which she said after the match. I did that to fuck with May Sarah.
A beast.
Uh,
It's such a shame she
yeah,
ended up getting sick.
yeah, they
She's
both
like
did.
finally got something to do, and she got sick.
Oh, Emi Sakura is a fan of Victoria Yuzuki.
Yeah,
Ain't that
she is.
nice? Yeah, she tweeted about her, said she's
Real
so cool.
respect's real.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, that was a solid match.
Yeah. Tora got to pin Tam. One of the few. She beat her with the Swanton bomb. She sprayed her with the mist. Hit her with a Death Valley bomb. It was a crazy Death Valley bomb. She bounced. Um, I saw some people surprised, but I think they do forget these are two of the last remaining people who got stuff from Kagetsu when he
Mm.
retired. Like Tam got the knee, and Tora obviously got the leadership of the group and the at the time the Sai thing, and it's obviously
And
changed into the
the
stick.
Jeet, uh,
Yeah,
and the Death Valley bomb.
yeah. Like these two got a lot from Kagetsu. You can tell that they were linked, and so I think Tora getting to go over Tam made a lot of sense to me when it happened.
Yeah, and
And
I mean they also were very their careers are intertwined
yeah,
like aggressively. I mean, they both they fought for their first 5-star entry against each other.
yeah,
They had a qualifying match almost 10 years ago. Um, I guess it was it 9, 8, 8
maybe.
years ago. 8 years ago, they fought for qualifying into the um, 5-star for the first time, and then they had one of the best matches of the 5-star the next year, and then they had the artist belts. Their first championship wins both came from each other. Um, they just have a lot of history, obviously. So uh, Tam putting over Natsuko is not shocking whatsoever. It's just funny that like I don't know. I feel like the scene is so interesting, like the setting of all of this, where it's like we're really just running through Tam's retirement road,
Yeah,
and sometimes it feels like it, and sometimes it doesn't. You know what I
yeah.
mean? The Last Dance for the Cosmic Angels felt like, damn, we're really approaching the end times. Um, but her losing to Natsuko, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But what? Like like it kind of takes a second. It's like, oh yeah, she's putting her over on the way out.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's interesting.
Also on that show, we had the Golden Generation three-way because they did remember they have to sell Saya potentially retiring. Kamatani pinned Ida in 15 minutes with her own Star Crusher. They're really putting over the Star Crusher on these tours.
Can't
Um,
wait for Tam to kick out of it.
oh yeah, for sure. She's gonna kick out of the spinning variant as well, like the
Yeah,
protected one.
I think Saya is going to have to hit the Phoenix.
Yes, I think so too. This three-way was honestly a lot of bits. Like there was some good stuff, but it was a lot of like, hey, we're having fun, Golden Gen. Ooh. And as we know, that's not my favorite kind of wrestling. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I didn't watch this.
Wow, I
Uh,
thought you would.
I don't know. The Golden Gen died when Marigold was created. Let's be frank.
You did get the two
It
best ones. Well, one and a half because Mariah was unofficial, but
Yeah.
they did.
Um,
You know?
and also like I know everybody hates Jamaica now, but like most of them are gone. Like let's be
That's
frank.
true.
Even like the the best tag team. Well, maybe not the best tag team, but both the tag teams are gone. That were cool. Uh, like I mean, Ida's cooler now. Ida's leveled up, but like I don't know. I am more interested in this match as remember this future title match from 5 years ago?
Yes, I
Uh,
literally thought of that. I was like, dude, we watched these have like the Wave Rules
the
3-way
Tomoe
for the
battle.
future
Yeah.
belt. And now look at us. Sai Kamitani's like the biggest star in Japan outside of Ozawa and Goto and the
Yeah, I was gonna
Saitos.
say, yeah.
Okay, she's the biggest star in Joshi.
Yeah.
Biggest star
Yeah,
in
that's
Joshi.
that's
But
fair. Nanai, but no, I'm kidding. Um, but she should be. But yeah, I don't know. And you also told me that it's like, oh, they just did bits, and I was like, there's so much.
yeah,
And I also
too
like
much.
by this point, like by the end of this show, I was like, I don't want to watch anymore, really.
That's
Like
fair.
I'm so good on this stint.
Mayu pinned Suri also on that show in their main event with a Dragon
Yeah.
Suplex because that's how they set up matches. They had some good exchanges. That was a good tag.
It was like a
Um,
German suplex, uh,
yeah, it was very out
like
of nowhere.
it was a flash German suplex
Yeah,
where she treated it like
um,
it was a roll up, but also she dropped it on her neck first
she did. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Meltier had their last match together. Kamatani pinned Tam after she got
against
spray
Psy Queen.
painted. Yeah, Psy Queen.
I
She's the Frankensteiner this time, so she's also going to kick out of the Frankensteiner. So you
I
all know.
mentioned that in the Discord that I was
Yes,
trying to remember what the name of Saya and
you should
Konami
have
was,
asked. I remember it last week. I
but
just
I
didn't.
hated them so much that I was like, I I
That's
I
crazy.
expelled it from my brain.
Crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was our last Meltier team, I believe.
Mm.
A very emotional moment for people like me who thought their song was awesome. Yeah, Kamatani going over
Double
Tam.
Frontier was a good song. Double Frontier was a good song.
Yeah, no, I think some of their stuff was good though. Hamamatsu then, by this point, a lot of people had fallen off. They had Suzu gone, Mei gone, Mayu was off, and Kid was rehurt because they rushed Kid back. So the card got changed a lot.
I didn't even know that. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I think Kid was off of it. I don't see her on the results.
Ay,
Yeah.
Dios mío.
But they ended up with a match falling into their lap of Tam
Mhm.
versus Hanan, which feels like a really symbolic match, and I'm surprised they didn't do it purposely. Hanan is going to be one of the people they push post Tam. Like, she is going to be one of the defining people of the company. I think somebody said this, but if you look at that graphic for Stardom, the Stardom project, you've got Ngori, you've got Natsupoi and Ano, you've got Suri, you've got Maika, you've got Hanako, you've got Kid, you've got Kamatani, you've got Rina. All people they are really high on. That graphic
Mhm.
is almost showing you these are the core people going forward, including Hanako and
Like,
Kashima, apparently. Um,
Kashima's
which
just
I
like
think is
really
interesting.
popular. Like
Yeah, she
she's
is.
she's a
She's a beast.
real house show gem. Like I like the live crowds love her is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. We
Um
love her too.
yeah, of course. I think this Tam Hanan match, which I wanted to watch but I didn't have time for.
Mhm.
Um uh it's very interesting because they never wrestled before,
Yeah.
but they are like two uh, like they're both Stars members. They are two of the four original Stars members.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so fascinating they never wrestled each other, like in singles. Because yeah, like this was like this feels like a big deal. Both Mayu, underlings for
hmm
ever. Like I don't know, it's just very interesting in that way.
It was actually a pretty good match. Tam was just beating on
I heard, yeah.
Hanan. It was very much prove yourself Rook kind of thing, and it worked really well with how Hanan wrestles. But I do think this was just a very important match in kind of someday we will look
Stardom
back at this and
lore.
go, wow, Hanan really took the mantle and ran with it after this because I really do think the sky is going to be the limit for her push wise. Um, yeah, this they kind of ended up having this fall into their laps, and it really worked very well. But like that was really all that happened across those 4 days. Like without Tam, Suzu going down really hurt the actual stakes of the shows because there wasn't a whole lot else happening to like build people up or anything. Even the FWC stuff was just kind of 50-50 as you'd imagine. Um, And even then, FWC didn't even work 2 of the shows. So, like,
Yeah.
they were kind of stuck there. So yeah, it was one of those weeks where like everybody was just protecting themselves and keeping the crowd happy. So you can't get too mad at them. But that's the review section. We are going to look ahead then to see. There's the 2 American shows, thankfully, just the 2.
Yeah.
So first off, Stardom American Dream 25 in Sin City. Do they have the card? That is the question. Is it on
The
the
card does
schedule?
exist.
Is it
It's
on
not
the
on the schedule.
schedule? No. No, it's
Of
not.
course not.
It is not on the
You
schedule.
fool. Why would you think it was on the
Why
schedule?
would I think it's on the schedule? Crazy.
Go to Scott's
Um,
Twitter.
Going to the news, because that's usually where you can find it. But, is it? Oh yes, all match cards decided, full card. So, on the 17th of April, which is the Thursday, it is Sin City. And we have Starlight Kid and Mazzerati versus Azumi and Chairman Ram.
Oh yeah.
Mazzerati is a local wrestler. She's like FSW Vegas's main woman, so I think she's just local and got booked. I like her as a heel, but that doesn't work with Kid, so I don't fully know how this match is going to work. But yeah,
How old is
Su-
Ram now?
I have no idea.
Because
Gotta be
like
30 or something, right?
maybe.
Oh, that's something we missed as well. Stardom versus outside of Stardom. Konami and Minoru Suzuki are going to team on the Hana show to take on 2 people. That was
Oh,
announced
did they
today.
announce that? I didn't even know that
Well,
was.
I think Konami said in a promo, she was like, "Hey, do you want to team with me for the Hana show?" So I think we
Interesting.
are going to start getting stuff for the Hana show because they've started to like
It is a
announce
month from
people.
now. Yeah.
And it is a month away, so they kind of have to get on that. But yeah, back to this. Suzu Suzuki and Jody Threat take on Unagi Sayaka and Airica Demia. They cut off Airica Demia's name for some reason,
Yeah.
so nobody knew who
It's
she
just
was.
Erica.
Her name is a play on My Hero Academia, and so is her like gear and her vibe. She's
Okay,
pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
I followed her for a while because of the name. Like I've never watched her wrestle, but I was like, I like the
I know.
name.
I
I'm in.
I follow like a very low level indie wrestler from like Minnesota because their gear is all just Shark Tsuchiya tribute.
Nice,
And I was like, that's awesome.
sick. Um, that is a interesting match. I like Jody Threat. She's obviously in TNA. I think she's a very polished
Yeah.
wrestler. But Erica is very raw. Like I think eventually she could be good. Her strike exchanges with Suzu might work. But like the match I saw of Damia, she kind of isn't there yet for Stardom. So I think her and Unagi being paired up could be a bit of a disaster. But like, Suzu and Jody are pretty good at what they do. They might be able to keep it on track. Maybe, you know. Um, our next one is Hanan and Saida versus Hazuki and Kelsey Heather.
That's true.
Yeah.
Which is
Um.
one of us like broke up, and I
Oh,
was fine. Uh,
I think it was me. Maybe it was you because your internet was acting up.
I think it was you. No, I think it was you this time. Because I was saying
Oh,
Erica
okay.
Demia, her finish is one for your face instead of one for all, and
That's
that's kind of fun.
beast. Okay, I love that. But yeah, our next match, I had already gone onto it. Hanan and Saida versus Hazuki and Kelsey Heather. Kelsey Heather. I actually watched Kelsey Heather against Maggie Lee from TNA Explosion of all things. She's a good seller and she's like quite agile. So I think there's parts of this match where she could do well if like Saida gets to beat the shit out of her. And she's wrestling Siri on day 2, and I think her just bumping like shit for Siri could work really well. So I'm actually kind of into the Kelsey Heather. I think she could surprise people a little bit.
You know, if you were right, and this is off topic, it's about the last match. Um, if you were right, and it is American Woman, I would love to see Suzu, Jody Threat, and Masha Slamovich like be the team. Like that would be
That
the
would be
coolest shit
sick.
ever.
Yeah. See, Mina Shirakawa and Hanako take on Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe. That's pretty whatever. Your last chance to see Mina and Stardom, I guess. Fun. Um, Siri
Yeah.
and Siri and Vipress versus Konami and Calientita. Calientita is a reality of wrestling trainee, and people know I'm very high on them, but she's quite green. Like she needs a lot of work, and I think she could get shown up pretty badly in here. Vipress is solid. She's been around for a while, but that does not fill me with hope. That match is just, I look at it and I'm like, I'm not sure about that one. And then yeah, Micah versus Tekla. Micah's gonna win.
Terrible.
Send the card home happy.
Terrible card.
So like, I knew they were not gonna try when they left their hot act at home. Like they said, no, we're not taking Sai versus Dam at all. But even still, they've managed to like blow me away with how mediocre these cards are. Especially when TJPW was there this week doing Mizuki versus Miyu Yamashita. Like, and they're probably changing the IP belt. Like Jada Stone is probably beating Suzume. Stuff is happening in other promotions.
TJPW cares about America. Like they care about their.
They do, but Stardom should too, I guess.
I don't think Stardom does like at all.
Then don't run 2 shows. Don't like. What's the point? Anyway, the show then on Friday. Is it Friday?
Yep.
There's no picture. Oh, there it is.
It is Friday. Yes.
Wait, what?
Neon City.
Oh, that's weird. Why did they do it like that? Okay. Yeah. So Friday, April 18th, Stardom, American Dream in Neon City. Mina Shirakawa and Rachel Rose versus Suzuki and Hazuki.
I actually like that match.
So do I. Yeah,
I like
Rachel Rose
all
is
of those
good.
people.
Rachel Rose
Yeah.
fits with Mina. Like if you were to
Yes,
pair
also
Rachel up with anybody, it would be Mina Shirakawa. That is such a good fit.
I agree.
And the
Suzuki
Suzu Hazuki
an
team,
interesting one.
yeah, they're gonna kill them. Siri versus Kelsey Heather.
Funny
as I
that's
said.
the last Mina Stardom match though.
I know, it's crazy. Siri and Kelsey Heather, as I said, I think Siri or Kelsey Heather can bump really well for Siri, so that one might be saved. Dear Lord. Hanan, Saida, and the DKC versus Natsuko Tora, Tekla, and Clark Connors.
That's terrible, man. Like, dude,
what are we doing?
if you got literally any other junior heavyweight, not any other, like not Drilla. I'm lying. There are some really there, but
Is Drilla a junior?
he's not junior anymore. But if
Okay.
you got any other wrestlers in the DKC, this would be fine. But the DKC is
don't think
so fucking bad. Like
Oh,
no,
Lord.
not fine, but like okay, what's an example? Like if you got Ninja Mac in there,
Please
sure.
don't do that.
No, I know, but no, you don't understand. The DKC is really bad. Like
Okay.
he's the most fucking boring wrestler I've ever seen. They didn't even put him in the fucking. He is a Shibata Dojo graduate that they refuse to acknowledge as a Shibata Dojo graduate because he sucks so bad. They didn't even
Wow.
put him in the goddamn tournament this year. There's a junior heavyweight tournament coming up in a month, and he is not in it because he sucks. And he is on this show.
Incredible. Starlight Kid and Maya World take on Azumi and Johnny Robbie. You really, I think 3 of the 4 here are good, and I think the only problem with Starlight Kid is, as I say, the walking wounded. There is no chance this woman is working more than 25%.
So are you saying the other 3, or are you saying Johnny Robbie's bad?
I like Johnny Robbie. I like Johnny Robbie. Unfortunately, I cannot keep up the bit anymore. Like I think if Maya World and Johnny Robbie just get an extended sequence, this could be cool. Or if you just let Maya and Azumi have a match.
I imagine Maya and Azumi is going to be like the closer.
I hope so.
Like because I think Azumi probably wins that.
Probably.
But
That would be good though. I mean, Maya's great. She's gonna have one of the better weeks of anybody. She has that Miyu Watanabe match coming up. So she's good. She's wrestling Aja Kong. She's getting wrestle Aja.
Also true.
Like that's crazy.
And Kyoko Inoue. Don't you forget about her.
Yeah. Anyway, the main event presumably is Maika Hanako and Megan Bain versus Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Calientita. Yeah. That's
Shuts out Meg Bain.
Yeah.
Not a good
Maika
match,
with
but
her ex and her current fling, fun. Yeah, that's gonna be
the Towers of
baby
Power.
faces go
Hanako
over.
and Megan Bain.
You're gonna make Megan Bain pin Calientita and they all go home happy. Baby faces rise up to win. Yeah, those cards are not good. I've considered just not even watching. Like I'm just fully.
I would rather not.
I'm fully just like I don't think I'm gonna bother. Like these are genuinely low effort, mostly crap. Like I'm sorry, but we'll see
agree.
during the weekend because there's just so much other stuff as well. because I'm not gonna be here on Sunday as well. Like my Sunday is very busy. I'm going to watch WrestleMania with friends, so I have to travel. I have to watch football, then I have to watch the wrestling. So like that's a whole day, probably 2 days with travel taken out. So not sure how I'll be as far as watching these, but yeah, we'll see. Um, Thankfully, that's kind of the end of Stardom's stuff. You know, they've kind
Mm.
of been in that weird phase where it's like, okay, get us to Yokohama Arena already. And now we're at the point where they have one show after the America week. They're running
And I'm
Cork.
interested in the Korakuen.
Yeah,
So
it's a good
that's
Cork, and then they
yeah.
run All Star Grand Queendom, which is the show we're all
I will
looking forward
say,
to.
looking at the cards, Tam and Mayu just never wrestling again,
Yeah,
never being
kind
in
of
the
weird.
same ring together.
I know.
Uh,
Like, that was their last
because they're
chance on
supposed
that
to.
Hamamatsu
Yeah.
show.
Um, potentially Tam or potentially Kid and Mayu. Uh, but that's dependent on like Mayu, and I'm not gonna jinx that. Um, as if I haven't said it most weeks. But yeah, I mean, like it's interesting when you look at it like that. That it's like this is things are coming to a head. That
Things
that
be
Korakuen's
changing.
that Korakuen is the last respite before the end of the world, so to speak.
Yes. You know, maybe for some people, it probably is the end of the world. Seeing Tam go might be like,
There's a tweet, not to be like that. There's a tweet that says, "The internet's going to be a fucking hellhole the day that Mayu wrestles in company that isn't Stardom." I have that bookmarked because
you're as
because I
bad
have
as
that
me. That's why
I
we
have
do a show
that
together. You're as bad as me.
I have that Kemo. What is his name? What is the mini's name? Kamanito.
Caminito, yes.
I have a picture of. Wait, no, it's the one in red, the devil. What?
I think that is
I,
Caminito.
no, that's the blue one.
Are
I
you
don't remember.
sure?
The other one, in a cowboy hat. I have a picture of him waiting.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it's not.
Well,
It's a sombrero, but you know.
people will see. They'll see. That's fine. But yeah, that's that for Stardom. You know, interesting week ahead, mostly because the
Mm.
best match is not in Stardom. But you know, it's not their fault. Lena Kross is just that good. Um, all right, so Marigold, they have an interesting week coming up because they don't really do anything until they run Corkin.
Mm.
But before that, they did have kind of one big show and one half show where they are kind of the showrunners, but also kind of not because it was the Nye's show. So I don't know how that is considered. But either way, I don't think there's any news from the world of Marigold. They don't really do news all that much. They just kind of are there. They run their shows. They go home.
um.
It's pretty neat.
Oh, one thing. Are we? Oh wait. Was That was this past. Okay. I was trying to remember if we were gonna review the Marvelous match or if we would
Oh
talk about
yes.
that just like and how it created another match coming up, all that shit.
Oh yes. Well, that was Marvelous Wrestlers outside of, or no, Marigold Wrestlers outside of Marigold. When Victoria Yuzuki and Hummingbird lost to Hozan and Riko Kawahata on a Marvelous show. Hozan actually got the win over Hummingbird, which you had pitched, and I was like, no way. And then they did it, and I got a big pop.
Oh
Marvelous
yeah,
crowd is hot. I love them.
yeah.
Um, it was a really good match, I thought as well. I thought Hummingbird had one of her better performances. Like she was actually doing stuff, and you
What
could
a
tell
fucking beast.
fighting for Marigold actually brought out something in her that
I will
wasn't
say
just bird stuff.
the two Hummingbird matches this past weekend kind of made me think that it's like maybe Hummingbird just doesn't work on the undercard. And I know that's not how wrestlers are supposed to work, but I think in a sense she's like a better version of Yuki Minami, where like Yuki
Hmm.
Minami cannot have good matches against other undercarders. Like she just doesn't really do it.
Yeah.
But when you put her in there against like Nozaki and just have Nozaki slaughter her and have her do a couple of her cool things, I think it works. And I think Hummingbird is even better at that stuff because like that's what her style is meant to be. Like her comebacks aren't Like, okay, and I know this is going on a diatribe about Hummingbird. I apologize, but remember last week how we were like, oh, the problem with the Sariyama Yoka match was that Yuki Minami kind of like got too much of her shit in,
Yes.
and it was just normal shit. I think Hummingbird would have worked better there because Hummingbird doesn't have shit to get in. She gets around you and then does like, her arm bar. And then you pick her up and beat her, and then like I feel like she works better in instances where she's kind of slotted into a more important position and is able to kind of like not only do more but also like take more than 3-minute matches against Riara. Like I think matches like this and matches like the one in Shikiba kind of showed me what I think Hummingbird could be, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Um,
Also,
I
outside of
thought,
Hummingbird, this match was good
yeah,
because
it was very good.
everybody in it was good.
Yeah, Yuzuki carries herself so well. She just has
Mhm.
that swagger, and she had it all week basically. But she brought it here to Marvelous, where I mean the crowd is so good for Marvelous. As I say, like since the Queen of Villains, they've basically just got people locked in. They were hot for the entire match. They were hot for seeing the Marvelous wrestlers uh kind of defend home turf, and they were hot for the I Hozan pin of all things, which I never expected to say. Um, and it just
Well, to be
worked.
fair,
Like it
the
was a really
shoe pin
fun
stuff with
match.
Hozan this year really kind of got fans behind her a bit more.
Yeah.
The Senka stuff where they're like, man, this girl really doesn't win. Like we should kind of got that Waka-ism to
Yeah.
her, like the early Waka, where it's like, you
The
know what?
guy who still got it, man. What a genius when
She
she's like
she
rolling.
sometimes she just. I mean, this show was really good. The
Yeah, yeah, with
the
Takumi and Mako
Takumi
and
Mako was really
Senka.
good. Maria and Natsuki was really good. This match was really good. Yeah, the opener was really good. I don't know what Leo did, but I no.
He's all right.
Um, yeah, I'm sure it was fine. He's a solid wrestler. Chigusa just doesn't know how to book him because he's a wrestler. He's a man,
Yeah,
not because he's a wrestler, but because he's a man. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Um, have him challenge for the 3AW. Let's go.
hell yeah.
Let's click. But
Um,
yeah, no, I
and
really
then
like that match. Riko did great as well. I love
yeah,
Riko Kawahata. Riko
Rico's cool.
Kawahata is one of my favorites. I always think she should be doing more. So I was happy with this one.
Um, I thought after the match was kind of more important because
Mhm.
the Marigold crew emptied once again to face off with the Marvelous crew, but Miko Iono was the leader this time, and I think with Nanai retiring and Seri kind of presumably busy with that, I think Miko Iono slotting in as the leader of the Resistance is pretty great for her. She's
Mhm.
not going to be in any of the big title matches at Yoyogi, so letting her lead Marigold into war I think is a great spot for her. Her and Riko obviously have a lot of history, so they can play that up. I think her and Takumi would probably work excellent against each other, so you can play that up. Like Miku leading the charge, I think is a really good use of her right now, and I think it gives a lot of the roster just get something to do that's very natural. But what I loved was Mirai absolutely staring daggers into Mio Momono. Mio perched up on the rope and Mirai standing outside with her arms crossed, like
This whole thing was
just
really
glaring
well
at her.
done
It was
because
fantastic.
the marvelous invasion of Marigold was very Marigold coded. This
Yeah.
was very Marvelous coded. Like you can tell
Uh-huh.
that this happened in a different company because there was an underlying like comedy to it. Uh, and but in like that comedy comes from the structure because Marvelous is obviously a old school Fed, so it's all about structure. So Chigusa and Miyamoto, for example, berating Senka for taking off her clothes and getting ready to fight,
Yeah.
hilarious. Like they were like, why have you started doing that? You lost. Shut up. Stop. Put your clothes back on. The fuck? Like they both were like, why?
She
Stop.
was so upset too. She was like pulling them back up, like,
Behave.
all right, fine. And
Yeah,
everybody was like
they're like,
assembling her clothes again. Somebody else put her shirt
yeah,
back on.
yeah, they're
It
like,
was
come
fun.
on, kid, get over yourself,
Yeah.
type of thing.
I think
And
Tommy protecting Mio was funny. Like Mariah is just
always
glaring
fun,
at
yeah.
Mio right in her face,
Well,
and
because
Tommy is just like, no, please.
Mio even tweeted, she's like, damn, I forgot I can't talk shit with a broken arm. She's
It's
like, I
crazy.
forgot that causes problems. And Mirai versus Mio is like the most
Oh my
anticipated
god, dude.
match
Yeah.
from this partnership or this rivalry, I guess. Unfortunately, Mio is still hurt, and it's not looking like she'll be coming back anytime soon. Even though I'm sure she's gonna try to get like a if they do a gauntlet for Nanai,
Yeah.
I could definitely see Mio being involved. Um, type of thing, a minute exhibition type thing. But yeah, I really like this angle. I love that they kind of set up Miku and Riko kind of being at odds because Riko obviously debuted against Miku, and Miku is somebody that she greatly respects and is fond of. So I think that's a cool uh thing to run. I will say I'm not sure how this whole 5v5 is going to work because I couldn't figure it out from like reading it. I don't know if it's a best of 5 series
It's an elimination.
or if it's a is it just an elimination match?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like an elimination tag? Because I thought it was like a crew battle, like a gauntlet.
Mm,
Because
if
that's
it
what it
is, they
sounded
haven't
like.
specified. But
I don't
the
know. They said it would be conducted between like they use judo terms,
all
and
right.
judo is a crew battle. So
Yes.
that's why I'm like, in a crew battle, what I mean by that is two people fight, the winner wrestles the next person, the
Are you
winner
sure it
wrestles the next
wasn't
person.
just a translation for unit? Like a bad translation for unit or group?
It No, it translated into like it'll be contested between the Vanguard 1, Vanguard 2, Vanguard 3, captain and semi-captain type thing. Like it might maybe it's a captain's fall. Like maybe that's what it was trying to get at. But yeah, I haven't gotten a lot of people have been saying a lot about it, about what it actually, you know, will be. That's great. As read what Davey sent me. Um, but yeah, I don't know what that'll be, but I really hope that it isn't like a best of 5 single series because I really want to see Riko versus Miku, and if it is a best of 5, it will be Miku versus Takumi, which will also be cool. But you know, I want more mix and matching.
Did you figure out what it was?
No,
No?
I said I hope that it isn't best of 5 series. That's all I said.
Okay. I think it's elimination. I've been trying to find the graphic, but of course, Marvelous or Marigold ran twice. So that match graphic is buried very deep in the depths of the media page, and I'm just not really about that life to find it. But that is the third match official for the Corkin. Which is kind of your third.
Here it
Oh,
is.
there it is. Yeah. So Iko Ono, Rei Sato, Kazuna Tanaka,
It's a
Chikugoto, and
5v5 knockout match.
Natsumi
Usually they would
Suzuki.
say elimination. And also it says the tournament will
Yeah.
be played in the following order.
Oh,
Uh,
Vanguard, second Vanguard, middle Vanguard. Oh, so it is a series.
that's what I mean. Is it a
Oh.
best of 5 or is it a like because a knockout series sounds like it'd be a crew battle, but
Yeah,
that
but see, then
makes
you're
it sound like
running
it's 1v1s.
Miku. Yeah, then you're basically running 5 matches in a row. I think that's a bit much. And you're doing Takumi versus Miku because they're the captains.
That's the thing is that it's like are we going to see Kazuna beat Sora, then
Maybe it is a
Hozan beat
gauntlet then.
Kazuna,
Because
then
remember
like
Sendai and Marvelous did that, the gauntlet style, where Hibiki didn't even get in because Marvelous won, and it was like, oh, fuck you then. So maybe it is that it's going to be like two people start and then they eliminate
I
as
could
they
see
go
them
on
doing
until
that
the whole thing is
exact
over.
same thing and having Riko upset Miku.
Maybe, and then you save Takumi.
Yeah, and then you save the Takumi and Miku singles, and you can also then
Okay.
you could put Riko in a title match against
Yeah.
fucking like a Mai Sakurai. We talked about it off air that it's like Mio Momono's really missed because she can win and lose very easily, and she is the best wrestler in Marvelous. Um,
Okay. All right, hold on.
and so it's like I'm kind of thinking like
Franco not
maybe they
being
could just
involved is
kind of
crazy though. And I will
what do you say?
just for
Oh,
anybody who
Senka,
hasn't
yeah.
seen, the 10 involved are Rei Sato Kazuna, Mikuyono, Chikigoto, Natsumi Suzuki, and Ai Hozan, Sora Ayame, Magenta, and Kumi Roha. So those are the
I
five
feel
from
like
our
Senka should like
Franco probably gets a singles or something.
should
But
beat
we'll
Hummingbird
preview that at a
type thing.
later date anyway.
Yes.
We're just saying this was the match set up by the tag on the Marvelous show. The post-match promos set it up and set Miku as the leader for Marigold, and these rookies were involved, and Mio and Mirai kind of set something up because Mirai was giving daggers the entire time. I don't know how she didn't break because she just kept the stone face the entire time. I was like, wow, Mirai not smiling,
That's
crazy.
that was really based. I love
Yeah.
Mirai. Mirai's awesome. Shocking right
But
now.
we do have 2 shows to review, and we are going somehow we've gone a bit long. So, Marigold Spring Victory Series on the 12th of April in Shinkiba First Ring. Ryoko Sakamura gets her first win as a wrestler when she beat Riara and Nagisa Tachibana in a three-way. Ryoko tapped out Riara with a Mariko Yoshida style submission,
Yeah, it
and
was
Nagisa
the
Tachibana
what
was
the fuck was it called?
is it like a spiders or something, because that
Spider
was
twist,
Yoshida's. Yeah, spider
something like
twist.
that.
Um, Nagisa was very upset afterwards that she didn't
Yeah.
win, and that's interesting because I thought they would have Ryoko and Nagisa as a team, but maybe they're gonna feud over who's best of the class. I don't know, but it's interesting.
I don't know. I think Nagisa is immediately really showing what she can do.
Yeah,
Um, I've also pitched to have her lose to Senka. That'd be a fun little match.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, I good for Ryoko. Poor Riara. Like
yeah. She's
I
never
don't
winning until
know.
she signs. Like as
Yeah,
a
I
roster member,
guess.
that's kind of how Rossi
Um,
works.
which she's more or less like she travels everywhere
Yeah,
with
but
them.
she's not official. Until then, we know how Rossi works. Um, anyway, after that, Chikikoto and Manami Yuki beat Gigaton and Megaton in 9.5 minutes. Yeah, Chikikoto.
Oh, that is good news for you.
What?
Risa Sarah's booked on the 24th, so she's not going to be Suzu's partner.
God bless. God bless. Hallelujah.
Because yeah,
Anyway.
it's Risa Sarah versus Jun Kasai. If that airs, that's good
Oh.
news for me.
Yeah, that's cool. What did you think of Giga and Mega?
Where was this? Sorry, I'm
Chikikoto and
lost.
Yuki versus Gigaton and Megaton.
Oh yeah, this was funny. The match was all right. Like it was fine. Um, it wasn't particularly good, but it wasn't particularly bad. But no, they did a bit where Yuki, um, did her own version of the Achika Kochika Gochika, where she
Yeah.
said, Yaruki Genki Yuki, which means motivation, energy, and bravery, for some reason. Um, yeah, that was cool. Good for her. Chikagoto is people should steal more Chikagoto bits. She's great. Um,
Yes.
yeah, I mean like now's good.
Yeah.
Like she's still good as Gigaton. She's still a good wrestler. Um, but yeah, there wasn't really much to write home about here.
Okay. Mirai and Seri Yamioka beat Kazuna Tanaka and Utami Hayashishita in just under 12 minutes. This is a good match. Everybody in it is good. Kazuna Tanaka has finally unleashed the good wrestling gene. And yeah, I thought the Mirai
Always
Utami
been
stuff
there.
was
She
pretty
just
fun.
had a broken back, man.
All right, listen, just shut up. But yeah, Utami and Seri continues to be something that always excites too, because Utami's just
Yeah.
like, I don't care, super rookie. Super
Utami and
to who?
Mirai previews always work because they have surrounded themselves with good wrestlers as well.
Yeah,
Like neither of them ever are like, you know what, I'm gonna tag with Yuki Minami. I keep
that's
shitting on
true.
her for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But no, like I don't know, like it always clicks, and like
yeah.
they've just been really booking it to be very good, and I quite like them together already. So when every pairing in this match works, I like it. It was a fun little match. Young core, first time Kazuna and Seri Yamioka have wrestled against each other,
Oh,
and I liked their work together.
they were good.
Yeah.
We then had Marigold Superfly Championship on the line. Victoria Yuzuki defended against Rhea Seto in just under 10 minutes. This is where Victoria Yuzuki, I was like, damn, she carries herself like in an absolute top star.
It's just
The match,
fucking really good. I liked it.
I am less high on it, but I do think it was an interesting match of Rhea working her style and trying to like stop Yuzuki and kind of pick apart Yuzuki with her kind of Sendai training. Um, and Yuzuki kind of overcoming that. Some of the forearm exchanges were very good.
Yes.
and I thought I'm just happy they didn't mess up that one over the head suplex where they botched, because that could have gone very badly.
Oh, the deadbolt.
Yeah, like if Yuzuki had gone off the floor, you're kind of fucked. But she didn't, thankfully, and she was
What
safe.
did Rhea Seto do? Like right at the start of the match. The match started really hot with Rhea Seto like doing a fucking Hell's Guillotine to her arm and shit. Like
Yeah.
Rhea just was really smart about her limb work here, which I always appreciate. And it mattered long term. Like that was like
Hmm.
near the end, Rhea Seto was looking for the win with arm related stuff. So she already gets it better than Jay White at least. Um, and like I just really liked it. I loved Rhea doing like the inverse arm bar where she would like push the arm. Like I don't. I've never seen it done in that exact way, uh, where like you push the arm away from you to try to like torque the shoulder. But she did that, and then she started like stomping on Victoria Yuzuki's head, like with her leg, and I was like, that's just the fucking nastiest shit I've ever seen. This rules. Um, yeah, I love the work here. Thought it was a really really good match. Um, Victoria Yuzuki just really loves hitting that 3.75. Like most of her matches, maybe not most of her matches, but so many of her matches are just like right there. You know what I mean? Um, not necessarily great, like put him up in the put him up in the greatest wrestler ever conversations or match of the year stuff like that. But she really likes hitting that ceiling right up there. I,
Yeah.
I appreciate her for it. 7.5 ceiling, as I call it.
Okay. Well, yeah, you liked it more than I did, but that's okay.
Could have gone a bit
um,
longer. The show was very short,
I,
and this
I
match being like
will never
9
complain.
minutes.
I like short shows. I'm
So do
very
I.
into it.
And to be fair, I this was early for me too, so like I didn't have work the next day actually. This was they love doing long ass shows the night before I have work. But then
Yeah.
when I don't have work, they're like, "You know what? We'll give you an hour and 20 minutes of a show. Don't worry."
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked how short the show was, but I think this match definitely could have had a couple more minutes. It was only like 9 minutes, 8 minutes,
It
something like that.
was. I said
Yeah.
just under 10.
Yeah. Well, I
That's a
didn't know if
Superfly
8 or
belt.
9.
It's gonna be like,
Both of those are just under 10.
if it was 8, I would have said under 9. How I go. But anyway, that was
All
that.
right, man.
Our main event was the Bozilla send-off. It was Bozilla, Chiaki, Misamatsu, and Gisunozaki beating Arina Yamanaka, Hummingbird, Miko Ono, and Natsumi Shozuki. Bozilla got the win on her way out over Hummingbird by absolutely killing her with a stomp. I legitimately
Dude.
forgot to watch this. I watched the
What?
entrances. I watched the entrances. I had something to do, and then I must have just blanked because I sat here and went, I didn't watch that. And I watched the entrances and got distracted.
Alex!
I know I'm awful, but I literally, until I sat
This was
down,
really
thought I
good.
had watched it. And I blanked because I had watched the entrances and I was like, oh yeah, I've
That's why
seen it.
you don't get Hummingbird. Okay, I was gonna say it's like how do you still not like at least kind of get her? But it's because you didn't see her star making performance here. Um, yeah, she was great. I mean, the problem with with wrestling
Oh, they're
is
not
that I
fair.
feel like sorry, I feel like things always click when they end. Um,
Yeah.
because this was like Bozilla's best Darkness Revolution performance. Uh, the team clicked better than they have like this entire time. Um, Hummingbird clicked as a baby face going against them. And Arena had some fun stuff with Bozilla. Like I was like, why did Bozilla remember everything on her last day? You know what I mean? Like she's been a bit iffy this year, and then the last day
I
she's in
disagree.
Japan, she's like
I think she had one iffy match and everybody's painted her with a brush. She was exceptional in the
the
Seri no
tags.
Tag.
Well, okay, well, yes, no, you're right, you're right, you're right. I
Like
need to give her more
the
credit
Dark
for the
Wolf
tank
match was
match.
bad, but that's because that was stupid to run heel versus heel. A
Yes.
squash. Like I don't blame her.
But people in general have wanted more out of her in Darkness Revolution. Um, and I felt like this was probably like what you want out of Bozilla in Darkness Revolution,
Yeah.
this match, because it was perfect against the baby faces, and her just demolishing Hummingbird was great. Like it really worked. It really clicked overall. And it's like, damn, she's leaving. That's a shame. Um, right when like that the team clicks, because I as much as I love Dark's Revolution, I will recognize that it's like they don't always click on the level that you want your fun heel faction to click. And I felt like they did super well here. um Big part of that as well is like Chiaki is getting better. Like she's finding her spots better. Misa's really good. Nozaki tried here, so it was all considered it worked. Like it wasn't just Bozilla, but yeah, I really like this match. Um, Hummingbird got busted open, and then Bozilla just onslaughted. It was crazy.
Pretty incredible.
You didn't watch the match, so I feel like I have to explain it to you.
You don't. You can just explain it to the people who did watch and are listening.
Well, well,
I will watch it eventually.
the big thing that happened was either Chiaki or Misa just launched the chair at Hummingbird's face
Right.
and cut it, like busted her open heavy. And she started
Matsuri has a
bleeding out of her
problem
mask.
with hitting people with chairs, and I think it's something that could
She
be an
she
issue
either
if it was her.
like actually kills people or completely
Yeah,
misses.
she
Yeah.
hits them with the hard part up top, and I'm like, that's not what you're meant to do. I'm not a trained wrestler, but I don't think you're meant to hit them with the hard part. So that's might be something that she gets pulled up
Oh, but
on if she's.
she's grizzled, baby.
Mm,
But she's you might die in a Misa Matsui match, and that's just what you gotta accept. Um, but yeah, like so she gets like she starts bleeding. Um, and so Bozilla's like, I'm still gonna get my shit in. So she does like the super dragon stomp, and she fucking power bombs her, like crunchies her. Like it was just nasty. Like Hummingbird ate a lot of shit in this match.
that's great.
Um,
The
and it
longer you
was
talk
awesome.
about
She
this,
did
the
great.
less we get to talk about Nanai. I'm just putting that out there.
Okay, man.
That is our
I just really like
trade-off.
the match.
We've been here
I just
almost
really
2
like the
hours.
match.
That is our trade-off. I'm sorry.
We took like two
Um,
big breaks, to be fair.
that's true,
I took
but
I took two big breaks.
there is still a trade-off. Um, I would like to discuss Bozilla, but I feel like we did a decent job of that last week, maybe, and her
Mm.
impact. They are going to miss her. I think
Yes.
she was an easy main eventer, and they don't have enough main eventers. And she is also an excellent wrestler. She, was able to keep up with Sari and Nanai pretty easily. Um, so I think they're really going to need somebody to step up big time to replace Bozilla, especially with Nanai going out the door next month. Like, I think my
Yeah.
worry for Marigold is no longer do they have depth up and down the card. My worry now is how do they replace Bozilla and Nanai.
Do they
And
have depth specifically at the top of the card?
yes, and I do worry that they might have a slight inkling to bring back a certain B Priestley to replace that because she would be a heel on the roster and she would easily slot in as a top star.
Frankly,
But I don't want that.
I've become less against it. I will become against it once she shows up and is bad.
Yeah, like I
Um,
don't like I've never hated B, but I always think Rossi likes her too much and it just gets in the way.
yeah,
And I end
no, I
up
get
kind of
that.
not liking her
I mean,
just
and
out of
the thing
spite.
is that Darkness Revolution is kind of missing a leader. As much as I love Misa Matsui as the leader, it's like you right now would not put Victoria Yuzuki as a leader of a faction,
No.
or Sari Yamioka as a leader of a faction, or like you wouldn't do that. You would have them as like the up and coming, like really like ready to take anything by the reins, second in command.
Yeah.
Um, and that's kind of how I feel about Matsui, even though she does have way more experience. Still wouldn't put her as the clear and away leader of the group. Um, and Bozilla wasn't either, but she just was the main eventer.
Yeah.
Like Misa just isn't a main eventer yet. Uh, and I don't think Nozaki is checked in enough to be the clear main eventer 100% when you need her.
Hmm.
So I do worry that they're going to look to someone like B Priestley and be like, well, that's an easy replacement for Bozilla, effectively,
Yeah.
even though she won't
Which I
fill the
get it,
same void.
but I'm just not a huge fan of main event Brie Priestley.
Yeah,
I do wonder. Rossi did. He made a tweet. He was like, "I'll have to find a new monster." I do wonder if they're gonna try and get another
that
foreign
also
wrestler in.
worries me. That
Yeah,
also worries me
and
because Bozilla he hit two in a row with Bozilla and
Yes.
Megan Bain that I
Then you
think
got
he's
Tank.
just exclusively going to look for like these gigantic women. And I was like, that doesn't usually work. Let's be frank.
No.
Like like statistically speaking, that is a losing strategy. You just hit the jackpot twice. So maybe
And one of
think
those was
twice.
the most obvious, like, Beyond Wrestling did the legwork for Megan Bain. Like,
Yeah.
literally anybody with eyes could see Megan Bain and her abilities. You know, Bozilla was the real gem. You know, I'll
Mhm.
give them that. But yeah, I do have recommendations, obviously, but nobody in Marigold is going to listen, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, get
Sonny!
ZZ from Pro Wrestling Eve. She's
Sonny!
good. She could do it. But yeah, that's Bozilla. We're gonna miss you, Bozilla.
They
You're a
got their first
fantastic wrestler,
foreigner being a valet on WWE Evolve. Ain't that crazy?
dude. She
Um,
is not going to be on Evolve.
I'm talking about Zeta
Okay.
Steel.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, she
She's
wrestled.
a valet.
She did wrestle, I think. She's with the
Oh, does
Swipe
she?
Right crew, isn't she?
That's what I mean. Like it's
'Cause
just she's just
I know this sounds
the
bad,
most
but on WWE Evolve, there's at least 4 women who are tan and blonde, and they all have the same gimmick. And I was like, "Is that Zeta
yeah.
Steel or is that the other one?" And I was like,
No, I'm pretty sure
"I
it's
think
Zeta
it's Zeta
Steel
Steel,"
with
because she does fit it.
the whitest men you have ever seen.
Oh, dude, I know.
Um,
I know. It's
it's funny because AEW Ring of Honor is doing the same thing where they just put a bunch of white dudes together and called them the frat party.
oh
Like I'm
lord.
just like, what are we doing? How is this a like? Do we just have too many white guys that we don't want to use? So
Yes.
we put them together as like they're hot and
Are they?
they're white.
Anyway,
Eh,
we gotta move on.
crazy.
So our
Those
next
data
Marigold
skills
card
really well.
review. Marigold Nanai Takahashi Produce. I want you to go and grab your dreams without giving up. Last Nanamomo, the world of Kiss has made a
What?
comeback after 13 years. That is the name of the show.
No,
And
it's
cool.
all's well that ends well with
No,
passion.
I'm telling you, on Cage Match, it says Marigold Nanai Takahashi Produce. I want you to go and grab your dreams without giving up. Last Nanamomo, the world of Kiss has made a comeback after 13 years.
Also, it's presented by Muscle Bar Japan.
And presented by Muscle Bar Japan. Muscle Bar Japan. Thank you, Dylan. So this show did a 503 attendance at Shinjuku Face. Good number. Sari
Yeah.
still is the undisputed queen of this venue, though, because she gets like just touching 600 usually. But you know,
She's
good.
doing them she's doing them Reseda numbers where this is a fucking fire
Fire hazard. Yeah.
violation. Yeah.
Um, show opened with a Kiss performance, which was the old idol group that Nanai was
The
in
Kai
with
Kiss. Yeah.
Momo Nakanishi, Miho Wakazawa, and the girl who you know. Is it Nayo?
Kaionomi.
Kaionomi. Yes, Miho Wakazawa, obviously of Stardom fame and AJW, was a comedy wrestler for a while there. Won the artist belts, I
Yeah,
believe. You know,
with Mayu
uh,
and Hiroya.
yeah, very fun.
She was in the movie.
It
I mean, not
was
like, but Mia's character was in the movie.
yes.
Forget who she was played by.
I have no idea.
Someone.
It opened with Utami Hayashishita beating Zones in 8 minutes. This is a nice opener. Zones getting somebody to sell for her is always the best form of Zones.
Yeah.
I think she got away from that for a long time because nobody would sell for her. But we're back now, and Utami gave her the
Utami
world.
Utami loves nothing more than to sell and bump.
She
Like
got really into that. I don't
that's
know when
all
that
she
happened.
that's
She
all,
is so
this
into
has been a
bumping and
thing.
selling these
This
days.
has been a thing like her
But like
post her
her
red belt
red
run.
belt, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Her red belt one was her being Okada, and ever since she's
Well,
just
no,
been like,
to be fair,
I am gonna
like
sell and
in
bump,
certain matches, like the Shuri match and the Hazuki match were a lot of her getting her ass beat.
kind of.
Like
But
especially the
either
Shuri
way,
matches, she was
I
getting her
thought
ass
she
beat.
did
But
that well for zones.
yeah,
Which
she
makes
she
zones.
started being a big. She loves bumping.
Yeah.
Um, she has for a few years now. I really like this match. Yeah, I thought that this worked to both women's strengths. Like Utami really likes the freelance Joshi style, and she got to do that here. Just kind of
Hmm.
like, getting her bits in here and there, but also just like getting it just worked for her, and it worked for zones. So I was really happy with it.
All right. Momo Nakanishi and Nana Takahashi wrestled a 15-minute time limit draw with Seri Yamioka and Victoria Yuzuki. This is a good match, a very good tag. Momo literally never ages. She looks like she could wrestle
It
today.
pisses me off, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just come back.
Um, Victoria Yuzuki doing the Momo signature moonsault was awesome, which
Yeah, it's
unfortunately was
just to
offset
steal
by
that.
her messing up the Momo latch twice,
It's okay.
which will live on forever in the mind. as a disappointment. But then
In your
Sari and
mind
Nanai took
specifically.
over, and they were pretty cool. Although I
Did
don't
I
think they quite
knock
hit the heights.
Series tooth out?
She did. Definitely doesn't hit the heights. Sari doesn't quite have the violence yet, but
No.
I think she's trying.
I mean, yeah, she doesn't have like the late game like real fire oomph yet.
Yeah.
Which I think will come. I think it's
Hmm.
it's there. It's just not like activated. I like this match a lot. Yuzuki challenged Momoe to a match, to a singles
She did. I hope
afterwards.
that's the Yoyogi match, maybe.
That would be ideal. I would love if it does end up being Denai versus Sari as her retirement match, which I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Um, I think that they should run this tag match in singles at
Hmm.
Yoyogi.
That'll
I
be
think that'd
cool.
be ideal. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I would agree with you that Yuzuki probably looked like the uh, a bit weaker than the other three
Yeah.
in this match, just because of being out of position in certain things. But I still thought she did well enough, and she's had such a good year that it was just her kind of having an off night. If even that, I still thought the match was very good, and I thought her performance was very good. She just kind of whiffed on a couple things, which ain't no problem for me.
All right. I thought the promo after where Momo and Nanai specifically was like, "You two are the future. You two are awesome." Is pretty great. And then we had after that Miko Aono, Miyuki Takase beat Miku Kanai and Yumiko Hoda in 11.5 minutes.
Very
Iono,
good, and yet probably the weakest match of the show.
yes. Iono pinned Kanai, but the obvious like key stuff was
Oh
when
shit!
Hoda was in there. Like Iono and Hoda had like a who has the stronger kicks little battle for a while there. Takase and Iono were hitting like lariats to try and get Hoda down. Like it was really interesting how she worked it, and then Miku Kanai would come in to die, which is kind of her role.
Yeah. Sorry, I just found out that Robert Martyrs going to be in Marvelous. That's
Yes.
cool. Good for him. It's my buddy. We watched Bob Sapp matches a couple years ago in a Discord. Um, Yeah, no, I like this match a lot. I really loved what Hoda and Miku did, especially just because Hoda still has that certain allure to her, that she's always had, frankly. But it just really worked here. And Miku Kanai, like you said, kind of just eats shit all the time, and it's awesome. So I liked it. Like I said, probably the weakest of the show, but still very, very good. And after the match, Yumika Hoda was like, I don't say as often, but Miku, you've got good ass kicks. Your kicks are real. Now that Nai's retiring, it's your time.
That was
And
really cool to me.
Miku
Hoda
was like,
being like, "You should be the one, man.
yeah,
You
Miku
got to be
was
the one."
like deer in headlights, like, holy fuck, did you just say that?
Yeah.
Like that, like, oh my god. And
I
especially from
think
Hoda, who does
Iono is
not put
definitely
people over easily. Like
no,
she doesn't just say that.
but
So
I
that
do
was
feel
a
like
big deal.
Iono is definitely the best actress girls creation. Like I think all around, just one of the
Mm.
strongest wrestlers they've ever created,
I
and I
mean,
think
Tam
maybe
fans
Hoda
will
is
get
part of
mad at
that.
you,
I think
but
Iono is a more well-rounded wrestler than
more
Tam.
skillful, well-rounded. I would
Yeah,
agree.
like I think Iono could drag up people better than Tam could, whereas like
I was
Tam is like violence, but if you take the violence away from Tam, I don't know what she look like.
yeah, Hogan. Um,
Okay.
but no, I was thinking about it, and I know we don't have time, but I would love to do like a no limit episode where we kind of like try to figure out who the top like three creations of like each company are.
That'd be sick.
Like the top three Sendai Girls creations is such a fascinating conversation because Mako's not in it, but Kagetsu is, and Dash is, and Chihiro is, and like there are a lot of people in that conversation. Even Mizunami, even though she's probably a dark
She's
horse, will
Gaia.
still be in that conversation. No, no, Mizunami was '05 Sendai.
She wrestled for Gaia though. She retired because of Gaia and came back.
I could have swore that she was. You're
No,
probably
Rima
right.
Mizunami was Gaia. Like Hirota, a few of them retired and then came back
Oh
on
yeah,
for like
she
waves.
started in '04 Gaia right before it
Yeah.
closed, and then yeah, came back. Okay, yeah, I'm wrong. You're right. But there are a lot of that's a very interesting conversation. For actress girls, I would say I think Miku has to be up there.
Yeah.
Um,
Pre-fall
certainly as
off
of
to
right now.
Kase too, but that was pre-fall off.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like that,
Because
and that's the
Takase
thing is
was good
that like,
here, but if you see her in a singles match, she's never this, and you're like, where is it?
yeah,
Where did it go?
Takase's a really devastating.
Yeah.
Takase in 2025 is pretty devastating, but just because she was like best in the world in 2021, you know, one of the best in the world.
Mm. But that was a good match, a very rugged kind of match with some very nice oomph kicks. Um, let's see. Then we had almost my favorite match of the show until the main event. Hiroya Matsumoto beat Chikugoto in 12.5 minutes. And I knew as soon as this match was announced, Hiroya would bring out the best of Chikugoto. And I was so right. Like, she was just beating on Goto, and the crowd was so into it and getting behind Chika. And Chika was able to meet the intensity fully,
Yeah.
which is what I've always said about Chika Goto. If you set a line, she'll meet you. And I think Hiroyo set a very high line, and Chika Goto was willing to fire back. And it was just really well done for the entire duration. Goto looked amazing in defeat. Like, I would love to see them run this back every 3 months, just because, just see how Goto like evolves over that time and tests herself or something. Because Hiroya was just that good at making her look excellent.
Yeah. Um, I was lower on this match than some others, but I still thought it was probably the second best match of the night. Uh, pr probably third. Like I have it kind of tied with the last Nanamomo. Like I have those both on the same level, all things considered. But yeah, I really liked it. I think Shikogoto just being like the second most over wrestler on the entire show was base as hell. Like this crowd knows ball. Like it's awesome. And yeah, I thought Hiroyo brought a lot out of her. Um, and it's interesting, like, Hiroyo is a great power wrestler and is just like a legendary power wrestler, I would say at this point. Um, and Chikagoto is such an interesting power wrestler that like sometimes what she does it is like oh sometimes she doesn't feel like a power wrestler, she just feels like she's tall. But this was one of those times where she felt like she was like, proving herself as a power wrestler, and I really appreciated that because I thought she did really,
Hmm.
really well.
All right. Afterwards, I don't know if Chica was making a "let's do one more" motion. It kind of looked like
She
it, but maybe
lost,
she
so
wasn't.
probably.
Yeah, but that would be cool. I would like to see Marigold run that back. Get Arroyo in, honestly. Like Rossi, get over yourself. Bring in Arroyo to replace Bozilla for a little bit. And Nanai, if you need help after that. But then we get on to our main event. Mirai, Nanai Takahashi, and you beat Chihiro Hashimoto, Rina Yamashita, and Ryo Mizunami in 26 minutes. This is one of the most insanely fun 26 minutes of wrestling you will see all year. Just kind of every pairing improved on the last somehow. And like you would be
Mhm.
like, oh, they're awesome. And then the next people get in, you're like, oh my God. And then the next ones that get in, you're like, holy fuck. Because like the Mirai and Aniki stuff was insane. And then Aniki went nuts with Nanai. Chihiro Hashimoto was in there with Mirai for a bit. Uh, Nanai and Rina Yamashita finished the match really well. This was the best I've seen Rina Yamashita in a long, long time. She hasn't
Mhm.
been this motivated to lock in for a while. Like that finishing stretch between her and Nanai was awesome. Like every pairing just got better and better with the physicality of the match. It was like just wow.
I was watching this and not really like at first I wasn't really locked in because I had to watch this after my day had finished. I'd watched the rest of the show like during my work day, and then work made me want to die, and then I got to watch this afterwards. So I was kind of just like down, and I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta watch this. And just over time, I just like started like my eyes started lighting up, and I like just rewound it to rewatch it, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I need to appreciate good wrestling while I got it. Because yeah, this was great. I loved it. I love all these wrestlers, frankly. Like I love Mirai, I love you, I love Ryu Mizunami, I obviously love Nanai, and Rina and Shiro Hashimoto both really. I mean, obviously, I love both of them too. Don't get me wrong, but they both are just super fun against these wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like getting to see Mirai and Hash run it back with Mirai being such a improved version of herself was so cool. You know what I mean? I just loved everything. I loved all the bits that they got to do. Um, I don't know. Like this match just reminded me of how great wrestling is sometimes and how fun wrestling is sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, it also, as many things have over this past 2 weeks, got me mad at Tony Khan. 'Cause how the fuck is like? How did he not pay Ryo Mizunami $1 million? Um,
Uh,
I'm happy he didn't because we got her here now. But like, dude, come on, grow up. This big bro Rio is goaded. Um, and I love this match. I really did.
yeah. No,
Also, Moran and you seem to not hate each other.
well,
Shock.
I don't know. They stayed away from each other a good bit.
No, they were fine together. You know,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
seemed they seemed they seemed fine.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what more to say. Just watch it. Just watch the damn
Mm.
match. Like it was insane. As I say, every pairing got more physical and more enjoyable to the point where I was like standing and doing Roman Reigns poses by the time the Nia and Reno were going at it. So, you know, stuff is good. I am surprised Nanai didn't even consider losing to anybody. She is so fucking funny. But yeah, that was
I
that.
mean, the only person she would have lost to here is Rio, and she was not losing to Rio.
Yeah.
Like
I
she
thought
could have lost
Hashimoto.
to
I thought she put
Chihiro,
over
but
Hashimoto. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think she is trying to do Hashimoto any favors. She likes Hashimoto, but I don't like. She's probably like she doesn't need to fucking beat me.
Yeah.
Rio is someone that Nanai has historically been very close with, been friends with, been tag partners with. Her just being like, you can beat me would have made sense. She probably was like, Hash doesn't have to beat me. She's fine.
Of course.
There's no point.
Um, but yeah, that was a great match, and I'm very interested in how the Nanai run kind of ends. Obviously, we're in the dying embers of her career. Very few shows left until Yoyogi, but that Yoyogi show, whatever it is going to be special to see her go out. Um, and yeah, this show was fantastic. I love the five match format. I've said before, I think WWE really hit on it very well with the 5 match pay-per-views. Their problem is they have a roster of like 90 people, so it doesn't they're leaving
90.
out too many people.
There's like 250.
No, but you know what I mean. Like you can do 5 match shows. I think Seedling does it as well, and it's a good format. But obviously, when you're WWE and you have so many wrestlers, you're
I
leaving
think
off
I
too
think
many people. But I think
I think
this and
six. I
like
think six is a sweet spot. Like even for
yeah,
this, I
yeah,
would
I
have liked
guess.
a sixth match.
No, I think
Um,
5 was perfect. Even for
like
like the Stardom Grand Queendom thing, I'm like, you know what, 9 is fine. But maybe less if we wanted, but 9 is fine. I'm just tired of the big 13 match shows.
I'm a 6 to 8 guy.
Mm,
That's my sweet spot.
I don't know.
I think 5 is too few. I think 9 is too
I
much.
think 5 is
I think
perfect. I like
six
the
to eight
5. Triple H gets a lot wrong, but 5 match events is definitely one of
is
his
one of
rare
them. He just doesn't want to pay
victories.
nobody, especially not black people. Let's move on.
I always
He don't
find that
want to give you no
conversation interesting
bonuses.
because, like, Bianca Belair is one of his most pushed wrestlers.
Yes. Okay.
And it's
Black
like,
men. He does
okay,
not
all right,
like
that's
black
that's
men.
fair. But I always feel like people say it sweepingly, and I'm like, I don't know, he loves like Jade Cargill too. He's a big fan of
No, that's
Jade
true.
and
No,
Naomi and stuff.
I mean,
Is Nia
Bianca.
Jax black?
Yes. Wait.
Okay.
Wait. No. Wait.
No. How do you how do the Samoans factor into that?
Because her aunt. I actually don't know. That's
Yeah,
fascinating. How do I?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because she's on the Rock side. She's not on the. But she's on the Rock's mom. Wait. She's not related
Rock's
to
mom
Rocky.
was the one that was.
Was Samoan.
Yeah. Oh no. Was she? I don't know. Anyway, that's not important because we have gone too long and we have to end the show.
She's not black. She is
Oh,
Samoan
okay.
German.
Cool. That's cool. So Nia Jax doesn't count, but
No
they're
wonder
really two examples.
she got the belt. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't apply to women. Triple H
Okay, that's
Triple
cool.
H likes women.
All right. Okay, that is our show. Marigold is not running. until they return for Corkin. We will preview that next week, I hope, if
We
they have
preview
stuff
that
announced.
and Jungle's Return.
Oh shit, yeah, that's fun. Okay. All
I
right.
think.
Well,
Wait, no, Jungle's Return. Wait, yeah.
just
Oh, fuck. Next week is
27. Yeah, it's
next week
22nd.
is the
Yeah.
big week.
Yes, it is.
Everything's happening.
Yes, it is. So we'll be back next week, hopefully, unless I die in Dublin. But with that, it's time to close the show. Unless Dylan has any closing remarks, but I hope he doesn't, because
I
we've been
don't
here for a long time.
really. Yeah.
Okay. If you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever. Stardom Quest Gold. Ijo.
Ijo.